Hi everybody, I'm Mark McLean. This knife case has one of my very first knives that I would call a grail. It was a grail to me for quite some time. This holds a very special knife. It's a very special zip pouch case. Yes, that is real zebra. And no, they didn't kill them just for making my knife bag. They had some population issues that I did check out and investigate before I bought this. They were thinning the population in a particular area of South Africa when these were taken. And now I have this product, and they have several others they produced from that particular batch that had to be thinned out of the herd. Anyway, this is my Norseman from Grimsmo Knives.
What does that mean?
What does what mean?
It's so nice.
Grimsmo Knives.
Yeah.
That's two guys that made this knife. There's Erik Grimsmo and his brother John.
Knife supposed to tall.
It's supposed to be called the Norseman.
But it's not Norseman.
Yeah, it is. It's the Norseman. Anyway, this is my flame treat version, which I like. Stone-washed honeycomb pattern, titanium handles that have been heat anodized in a rainbow of colors, excluding this side. It doesn't show up very well on camera, I just noticed that, and it's got some wear in with it, I guess. But this side was originally a blue anodized with a green clip, and it has green back spacers as well as a green thumb stud right there. You can see some of the writing on this knife. I had this engraved specially by John, and it comes on the clip as well. If you'll notice here, there's some small writing, as well as here. It actually says, custom made September 2013 for Mark McLean. And you say, well, I thought that was not a custom knife. I thought that was a mid-tech. They are mid-techs. But this knife is a little bit special, like I said before. This knife John made for me at the time when they were just finishing up tweaking all of the coating for their CNC. That's the machine that makes their knives, they use to make their knives. The CNC machine has to have some coatings ran on it. I just sprayed this down with alcohol. The reason is I'm wiping off the coating of protectant I have on it. And the CNC machine does a great job, and you could call all of those mid-techs. But this particular one, John had to do a lot of extra tuning up, not because of the knife had issues or anything. He was working on their coating of the CNC machine. This was one of the first ones that came out with no changes that had to be made in the coating. The last thing that John had to change on this was the pivot. If you'll research back in the history of in the archives of his videos at Grimsmo Knives on YouTube, you'll be able to watch the video that talks about what he did to the pivot. They order these pivots, and then they have the CNC machine carve their Norseman, or the Spartan helmet guy, whatever you want to call it, the Norseman, into it. But John has always been very particular. I'm not saying he's OCD. I'm not saying that. But he's OCD, okay. When it comes to making knives, he's very particular. And he did not want a pivot that had the Norseman on it and rotated. In other words, when you flipped it out, bam, like that, This time, the Norseman is facing up and down. He is vertical. Well, before they made the CNC coatings and changes, the earlier knives, and this is one of the earlier knives, but the earlier ones, earlier than this, it would change and have some variances on the Norseman on the pivot. I could flip it out again, and this time the Norseman guy could be facing upside down or that way or this way. I mean, it varied. John didn't like that. Like I said, he's a little particular when it comes to making knives, so he had to do some changing. What did he do? He trimmed off the sides of the pivot, which was originally round. Now he has sort of an octagonal look to it, I guess, but it's not really octagon. He knocked down the side on either side, and that way it fits in properly and doesn't rotate. So as many times as you flip it out, that Norseman guy is going to be facing vertical each and every time. And I worked with John on this knife, I think about 2 weeks to 3 weeks, close to a month. And when he got finished, he put on my knife custom made September 2013 for Mark McLean. And there it is. This is dated back in 2013 when this happened. This is number 124 of the batch that came out with the new CNC code set up for this knife. And I chose the honeycomb pattern heat flame version, the heat anodized rainbow of colors. That's what I like. This knife is extra special, like I said, so it gets an extra special lanyard as well as an extra special zip carrying pouch, right? It's on ceramic bearings. I understand that John and his brother Erik went on to make several stainless bearings too. The stainless Grimsmo bearings, but this one is with the Grimsmo ceramic bearings, and I believe it even has a ceramic detent. It's still tight as a drum. No rock lock, or lock rather. No side to side play. An awesome knife, still buttery smooth because of the bearings that it's on. A fantastic knife. I've had numerous people try to get it from me. Nah, it's not for sale. It's not for trade. It would have to be a ridiculous amount of money or trade value before I would even come off that one. I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't be done. It could, I'm sure. But who would want a knife with my name on it, right? That could be changed. Yeah, right. Okay, it could. I checked on the website. None of these are available. They still don't have them available. They're hard to find. If you can find one, I congratulate you. They do have a new knife that's out called the Rask. And the Rask is a little bit different than the Norseman. In fact, I will show you just a little bit about what it looks like right now. And here it is in comparison, so you can compare it. The Rask is on top, the Norseman is on bottom. It's a nice knife. It's got the fluted pattern to it, and it's something else. A lot of people like that knife. It's a smaller. Thank you, Logan.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Sorry about that. It's a lot smaller than the Norseman is, but some people's hands are smaller. Mine aren't. That's just how it is. I have to have a larger knife, and this one suits the bill for me. RWL34 steel, that's the type of steel used on this blade. I haven't had to sharpen it ever, and it's still as sharp as it is the day that, or was the day that they released it to me, and Erik sharpened it on his Wicked Edge. And you're saying, hey, wait, they sharpen their knives with a belt system. Bagad. Yes, they do. This one was back when they sharpened them with a wicked edge machine. Erik did all of the sharpening on wicked edges, or on a wicked edge, his wicked edge. And I personally am glad. I wouldn't change it for anything. This is the knife of preference for me. It's what I like. People either love it or they hate it. That's how it is. You either love this knife or you don't. Personally, I do. Do what?
I like the knife.
You like this knife?
Yeah.
Thank you, son.
Awesome.
Totally awesome. And what else? Let's get your review on this knife, okay? Come on up here. Okay. Help me do the video. Tell me, what do you think about this knife?
This knife is cutting force. It has cutting force.
It has cutting force. Yes, it does.
And it
Make sure you don't touch the blade, you know. Right?
The blade has cutting force.
It does have cutting force.
And this knife, Bill, it's for nervous. This one is totally nervous.
Totally nervous?
Yeah, this one is called, I don't know what.
This one is called the Hinderer.
This Hinderer is awesome.
Yeah, but we're doing the review on the Norseman. This one. So what do you think about it? Do you like the way the blade is shaped?
Yes.
Tell me something. If you had to choose, which blade do you like best, top or bottom?
Top.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody has their opinion. Like I said, you either love it or you don't. And Logan and I love this one, don't we? Simply a clean pocket clip they made with this one. I really think that's awesome. This knife has great retention. It slides in and out of your pocket without any issues. It could be a gentleman knife. It doesn't snag up. There's no interference whatsoever if you're sticking it in your pocket. I can jerk it out in a matter of seconds or second, especially with this lanyard. I just leave it there and I jerk it right out. Logan says this is Papa's buttery smooth knife because he's heard me say 100 times that this knife is buttery smooth. It really is buttery smooth. The profile of this knife is simply perfect as far as I'm concerned. It's awesome. All the way down to the nicely engraved pivot that I talked about earlier. I simply love it. And it has, in my opinion, it has sort of moved some of the other higher quality rating type knives. This would be a higher quality rating, and I can't flip it out with my left hand. Just can't be done. Right hand, yeah. But it has sort of bumped some of the other knives along to the side, you know, for a lot of people. Not in terms of monetarily speaking. I'm not saying this is a better quality knife. I'm not saying it is a higher value knife dollar-wise. I'm saying as far as people's likes are concerned, it has bumped aside some of the other top brands. The CRK, for example, Chris Reeves knives, the Sabenza. That's one in particular. I know several guys that are friends of mine who said at one time their grail was to get a Sabenza 25 large, and they've changed that. Now their grail is a Grimsmo Norseman. So all in all, I'm not sure how many knives they've made. They've turned out numerous Norsemen. And I'll have to say that this one, since it was what it was back when it was made, it is what it is, and it is a special knife to me. This was a big knife for a lot of people, and I think that's where the Norseman is rocking. It's ruling out because of its size. That's what I like. It's perfect in my hand. That's where they excel, you know? you can't beat this knife as far as EDC goes. I love carrying this knife. And that is just about all I'm going to say about this knife today. You can check out the internet, look at the Grimsmo website. You can pre-order the Rask if you want. You won't find these, unfortunately. That's going to wrap it up for me. I appreciate you being there and watching. The Grimsmo Norseman. Do what?
Say your name.
And say my name? Okay. My name is Mark McLean, and I thank you once again. Have a great day. Peace.
Papa.
Papa.
Yeah, and Papa.
And Papa. And
I like to say peace.
yeah,
And
peace.
I like to say bye.
Bye.
I like to say bye.
Okay,
Bye.
say bye then. Logan wants to
No.
say bye.
I want to do the toy video.
You want to do a toy video? That's coming up. Later, guys. Have a great day.